All right, let's go.
Hey, everybody, it's Dale Earnhardt Jr., and this is the Ask Junior portion of the show. Thanks for tuning in. Thanks for being here and supporting our podcast and all of our social media handles at Dirty Mo Media. And you guys have sent in all your questions to at Xfinity Racing throughout the week, so Leah's got them ready to go. Let's see what she's got today.
First question from Jake Youngblood. Did you find a good square-bodied truck yet, and what are your plans for this one?
I found the truck. I'm working on buying it and figuring out how to get it here, but sort of going through. I haven't paid for it, so it's not bought yet, but I'm working on that. So
Are you trying to work on a deal? Are you trying to do a deal?
No.
We know how you do. You don't pay for anything.
No. There's a couple things about the truck that need to be addressed before I buy it, and we're working on that. And but I'm pumped. I love this truck that I found. It's the one I want. I love it. I love that, and I love it inside and out. And I hope that the deal works out, and then I'll have a truck. It's a '77 model, short bed. It's got a mild suspension kit on it that's lowered it to the ground. It ain't extreme, but I didn't want one on bags, but. Yeah, if this works out, it'll be great. I'll be happy to show everybody what we ended up doing. But it won't need any work. No.
Ready to
ain't
go.
Gonna need anything from me.
Not another project.
No.
Next question from Darren Simus. I've heard you reference the deer head shop at DEI several times before. Can you expand on what this is actually?
All right. So before, if you drive by DEI, there's these multiple giant buildings, right? And before all of those were there was only one shop, and it was probably, I would say, about a 60 by 120 shop, kind of small. It had 3 garage bays, 2 on the front and 1 on the side, so you could get 3 cars in there rather comfortably. And had a big long bench across the back side of it, 1 office with 1 desk, and that was Dad's office. And there was a loft upstairs that was pretty big, a lot of shelving for parts and, glass cleaner fluids, brake fluid, gear, oil, all the things would be kept up there. A big old upstairs in the loft, there was a big flat counter of decals. It was all the Goodwrench, the numbers, contingency stickers, and then Dad had a cedar closet on the end of the loft, and inside that cedar closet were all of Dad's uniforms, every uniform that he had from the 70s all the way up. Mine and Kelly's military school uniforms are in there. Some other stuff that belongs to Kelly and I are in there. Gun safes, just a bunch of stuff that was Dad's little kind of room where he kept all those things. But it's full of jackets, clothes, stuff he just accumulated over the years that was, for whatever reason, one or another, important. And there was a little room that was kind of small, but it had all of Ralph's lathes and all kinds of these machines and I used them. Even Dad used them, obviously, but I even used them. I raced out of there with our late model car a little bit. I also raced out of there with the Xfinity car, the Sickens Bush car. We raced out of the deer head shop. But, oh man, now somebody else is getting that alert. There's a tornado alert going around Iredell County. But, anyhow, the deer head shop is still there. DEI was built up around it. You cannot see the deer head shop from the road. It is behind the main, buildings that you when you drive by and you see these giant buildings. The deer head shop's kind of behind those. But apparently the day Dad died, they locked the doors, and nobody's been in there since. So And I believe that probably is true. I believe that no one has probably set foot in there, and Teresa's made absolute sure that that's the case. It's called the Deerhead Shop because on the wall, the loft is enclosed, and the loft is enclosed, and when you walk in, and there's the two bays, imagine two bays, two race cars, and the loft is enclosed, and on that loft wall it's got to be 40 or 50 deer head, and they're tight as you can get them, and just all full, and a couple elk, and so that's why they call it the deer head shop, because there's like 40, at least 40 deer head in there, and all giants, monsters, 10-pointer, 12-pointers, big ones, 14. Yeah, there you go.
Next question from Tom Harlman. I'm a kart racer, and in previous shows you have mentioned about having a Margay. Did you just run on oval, or did you run on road course?
Just oval. I ran 10 races in my life, organized go-kart races. All when I was 12 years old, and Dad went to the first race, and then after that, he relied on someone to take me to the racetrack, and it is a different person every time. That we'd get to the track and get the cart out, and when it was time for my class to practice, they fired up, and I'd go out on the track and run around. We weren't treating the tires and doing things like most of the teams were doing. We just kind of carried it to the track, threw it on the ground, and go. And then I ended up about midway through the year that they just stopped taking me. I don't know why, but we just quit going to the race. And that go-kart I kept for a while. I ended up selling it. So the go-kart, I raced it when I was 12. We quit going to the races after a few weeks, and then it sat in a garage. I would get it out, crank it, drive it around on the parking lot, set up some cups or something to drive around and race around it. When me and my brother were going to get into street stock racing, I sold my go-kart to Barry Dodson for $500. And we took that money, a lot of that money, and put together our first street stock car for me and Carrie. And that was when I was about 15 or 16.
Next question from Kendall Kemp. Do you think that Kyle Larson should get a ride for the 2022 Indy 500?
Yeah, why not? I mean, I think, Larson should run the 24 Hours of Daytona multiple times. It'd be cool to see him in Indy 500. I don't think he needs to run any other Indy races. I mean, he could if he wanted to. I guess he could do whatever he wants. But I'd like to see him run the Indy 500 at least once and do it while he's in his prime. But I think it'd be cool, too, to see him do, like, 24 Hours of Le Mans or Daytona, some of the, marquee motorsport events in the world. But anytime like those guys go over there, like I go work the 24 Hours of Daytona for NBC, and so we had a bunch of the NASCAR guys sprinkled throughout the field in different types of cars and different classes, and that was fun because you had Kyle Busch and Austin Dillon and Chase, and it was just fun to kind of see how those guys did individually, and they were all in different classes. So it's always great if we can get some more NASCAR guys into the 24-hour Daytona race.
Next question from Lynn Otten. I remember a few years back you mentioned collecting the NASCAR yearbooks. Did you ever finish your collection?
Yeah, I did. So I have a library at my house, and I have multiple collections in that library. One is the yearbooks for NASCAR that they would give out at the banquet every year. I have the entire catalog of Stock Car Racing magazine. I think it started in 1966. Circle Track magazine that started shortly after that, and all of them are in these little binders. But I've got tons of books, and so the library is slam full of racing books and biographies and all kinds of stuff.
I've been in there. That library is slam full. I mean, it is slam full.
Yeah.
One might actually say maybe could use a little organization,
What? Oh,
like
come on.
like card
I'll
catalog.
volunteer.
Oh,
I'd volunteer.
You know, like if you were going to look for a specific issue,
Yeah,
I don't know
yeah,
where
yeah.
you'd start.
no, you're right.
That'd be s-
Be hard to find what you're looking for.
Get Marie Kondo in there. All right, one more question from Matthew Sisson. We know that Jeff Burton used to unofficially be called the mayor of NASCAR. Since he's retired, who do you think has taken that role? He says he votes for Brad Keselowski.
I don't know. I think that just excuse me. That's a good question.
Denny?
Denny might be it. Yeah. Mike doesn't like that. I don't know. I think once the mayor, always the mayor. So I think Burton's still the mayor.
Still
Thank
the
you.
mayor.
I don't think there is a replacement. There's nobody out there that can
No.
match that. And I made the point there. They could definitely use that, but nobody is. You don't just elect somebody, but they got to earn it. And I don't think there's anybody
There's
out
not
there.
a mayor in there.
No.
There's not a mayor
There's
in the
no
bunch.
mayor material in
There's
there.
not a mayor in the bunch right now.
It could have been Denny, but Denny also takes things like would a mayor go to Twitter and just air out their grievances on Twitter? I don't think that's what the mayor would do.
There you go.
Of course, some politicians do quite well doing
yeah,
that.
they do. Yeah, I don't know. I kind of feel the same way. I mean, it hits you when things like that. Those type of things. Those unofficial titles are very organic, and they just happen. You don't. I don't think you sit down and if you have to sit down and think about it, then there's nobody. There's nobody there right now that's mayor material. I suppose it just happens naturally.
All right, that's all for today, guys.
Well, appreciate all the questions, guys. Dale Inman is the guest for today's show. Dale is crew chief Richard Petty to 7 championships, and he won his 8th championship with Terry Labonte. So pretty awesome to have him come into the studio and tell us some about his life and some of the memories that he has, and look forward to being able to get that out to you later tonight. Thanks for supporting us. Thanks for everything you guys do. Have a great week, and we'll see you next week on the Dale Jr. Download.